Hey, so how was before COVID-19? How was your business at Changes? How was business going before all the shit hit?
Well, I had a very good, stable business going here. The cash flow was good. I have gambling side of the business was doing very well. We had karaoke a couple nights a week. That was doing very good. Weekend nights were doing good. Fridays were one of our big nights. We had, steak night that night.
Yep.
Tuesdays were good. We had hamburger day on
Yep.
Tuesday. We were doing very well right up to the day we had to close the door on midnight on the 16th of March. The week before was probably the busiest week we've ever had because nobody was working.
Wow.
So everybody was
wow.
going out drinking, right up to the very last day. And then on that Sunday, the 15th of March, people were very upset that came in here because they thought they would never be able to go out drinking again. So it was kind of like a closing party. We thought that we were going to have to close that night, but then I found out it was midnight on Monday.
I remember coming out on that. You were packed on that Monday night with all the people that wanted to have one more drink.
Yes, people that I would normally sit around and converse with on the weekend on Friday night, because that's my night to do that. They would all come in that Monday. They all came in that Monday, and we all sat around and just talked until midnight when we had to close up.
I mean, you would consider yourself kind of a Cheers, a neighborhood kind of bar, right? So you have a really good, neighborhood, local clientele, right? You have a pretty good loyal customer base, right?
Very good customer base. If I was to unlock this door right now, I would probably fill the place back up if everybody knew I was open.
Yeah.
Even though, they talk about the social distancing and things like that, they would still all come out, just like they did prior to when we closed the place. We had a lot of conversation about the COVID-19 prior to when we closed, and my staff was taking extra measures to, keep the place clean and sterile. We had the sanitation wipes. We'd go into the restrooms and wipe down the handles on the toilet, and we'd wipe down the handles on the faucets and the handles on the doors, and then we would take our bucket that you do with the bleach water, and I would have them change that every couple of hours and go around and wipe down all the surfaces in the bar. And if
you were very good. My God.
We were being very careful that way to make sure that we were keeping everything sanitized and clean here, and yeah, go ahead.
No, so can you tell me how many employees do you have, and are they currently on unemployment?
So I have 3 bartenders, including myself.
Okay.
That we covered most of the shifts here, and then I had one other bartender who worked 2 shifts, one in the afternoon and one at night. Then I have a cook who worked 2 shifts, which would be Tuesday and Friday night.
Right.
I believe that's everybody, because I covered 2 shifts a week. The one fella, he covered 2 shifts a week, and then the other 3 bartenders covered the main shifts.
Okay.
So they all applied for unemployment when the governor closes down. Excuse me. When the governor closes down, the unemployment system was not ready for what was going on, and so when each one of them applied for unemployment, they all got letters denying their unemployment, saying that they only work part-time, because nobody here works more than, I think one of them was eligible because he works 4 days a week. The others work 3 days.
Yep.
And so they got letters from the unemployment office, as well as I did, and I should show you the stack of letters that I have from the unemployment office, first of all, denying them their benefits, and then telling them that they had to go out and look for a job. And then a couple days later, they got notifications saying that they would put them on standby until the middle of May.
Yep.
And that they were going to give them their unemployment benefits. But I had to fill out a 3-page form for each employee 3 times.
What? You're kidding me.
During that period of time to get them their unemployment benefits. That's just all that I had to fill out. for
You
each
had
employee.
so you had to fill out stuff for them to prove that they were part-time employees.
Yes, that they actually worked here.
Oh my
And
God.
and I just got another letter the other day that I had to fill out for one of them again.
So
Because the system, they did not, and
this
they
is
still have not gone in and fixed it, because
no.
myself, I was eligible for unemployment.
Yeah, because you're
They-
an employee. You're an employee, right?
Well, no, they made employers of companies that had to close down eligible for unemployment benefits.
Okay. Okay.
Just during this period, just during the COVID-19
Okay.
situation that we're in. And so I did not know that, but somebody told me about it. And so I got on there and I filled out all the forms online and submitted them. And of course, once again, I got 9 pages from the unemployment office here for me to fill out. And then I got 9 pages at my house to fill out. So 9, 9 for the employee, 9 for the employer. Plus I got 3 letters telling me that I was not eligible for standby and I had to go out and start looking for work right away, which I just got 3 more letters this last week. Same thing, same letter, stating the same thing, that I have to go look for work.
You know what? Their system, Floyd, is so screwed up. It is so.
Yes.
I mean, because obviously, the system itself is older than molasses, older than dirt. They actually have the system is developed in COBOL. That's a language that was used in the 60s and 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
I actually know COBOL. It's an old language, so it is very hard to modify because there's nobody left that knows this except for old people like me. So for them to change the system, it is fucking hard. So that's why it took them so long. I mean, just remember it was last weekend when they finally changed their system to support part-time, self-employed, contractors, gig employees, etc. And then it got overloaded because they just opened up the system, and then everyone started applying.
Well, you see, you're supposed to apply for your benefits on Sunday,
Yes.
which is what I'll probably do after I'm done talking to you.
Yep,
But
yep.
the system was so overwhelmed last Sunday that it kept kicking everybody off.
Yep.
I finally got through 4 hours later at my house.
Yep.
And was able to apply.
Floyd, I'm an early riser. So for example, I probably did my unemployment because I was unemployed before all this happened. I was laid off from my paralegal job in January. So I've been applying. So I have to apply every week, my claim.
Yes.
And I'm not on standby. So basically I have to put in my 3 contacts, right? So I applied for this job. I applied for this job. I applied for this job. So I have to do that every week. I have to go through the whole checklist of questions. So that's kind of my gig. So so right now, as far as you know, all your employees are receiving unemployment?
My 3 employees that were on my payroll and myself are receiving unemployment. And as of 2 weeks ago, we started receiving these $600 extra a week.
Yep. That's good. That's very good.
They went back on mine because I filled out the form incorrectly, I guess. They did not have actually a check mark for what was going on right now, so I checked the wrong box and they thought I was either fired or suspended. And so they sent me 3 letters. They sent me 3 letters and they sent the bar 3 letters that I just got done sending back to them.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to know if I was suspended or fired, why. And so like I said, there are 9 pages. I just got done sending them. 9.
That's crazy.
From the bar and 9 from my home. I just sent out there explaining to them that the governor closed the business down and I am on standby waiting to hear from the governor so I can open my business back up.
There you go.
So this is the 3rd time I've sent that paperwork out to them.
Isn't that crazy that you have to fill out so many goddamn forms? That is so crazy.
Ernie, could you hang on one moment? Let me
go
grab. I got the stack right here. Let me just.
Show me it. Show me it. I want to show it. It's like, oh my God, this is crazy. You can show. That's why you can show like this bureaucratic bullshit.
And Ernie, here we live in a state with all these trees. I don't know if you can see this, but here's one page here. Here's another page here. Another page here. This is just for me, by the way, not the employees. I have pages like this for them too. This is just for
Wow.
me. Here's another page
Here,
here.
show up closer. I can't really see it. Yeah, here we go. Perfect.
Okay.
Here we
And
go.
there's another one.
Wow.
And let me see here. This whole stack, there must be, I don't know, 20 or 30 pages in this stack, Ernie. These are all just for me.
Oh my God. That is crazy. I want to show this to Governor Inslee.
This is page after page.
Pull the pages closer to the camera right here because I want to see it. Yes, there we go. Perfect.
And now this is the one telling me about all my employees. Now they're talking about when we do reopen that they're going to increase my employment security
You're kidding.
taxes. That's what this page here is telling me because it's going against, that's because a computer kicked this out. I don't know what they're going to do, but this is because the computer kicked this out.
Oh my God.
That was for that. Now this here, we're back to me again. Here, here, and then this one here is telling me how much I'm eligible for, which is all zeros. You know, but then they're telling me that I'm not on standby, that I am required to go out and look for a job like they tell you. I've got 5 pages of that here.
Oh my God.
For me, Ernie. These are all still for me.
And this is not any of your employees?
No, there was only one page in there, and that was the letter that they sent me telling me that they were going to increase my unemployment quarterly fee because they're all on unemployment. And here we got maybe 3 or 4 more.
That is absolutely unbelievable.
That stack is probably a good 20 to 25 pages right there. That's just me. The ones for the employees I've already filed, but I probably got 6 to a dozen per employee.
Per employee?
Yes. Oh yeah, it's a mess.
And you had to, so Floyd, you had to fill out a form for every employee?
Yes.
Oh.
And explain to them why they weren't working here anymore. And I had to explain to them that they're on standby. And I put in most of the little spaces, I said, talk to Governor Inslee. That's what I said. You know, basically closed down because of Governor Inslee. And I just got to the point that that's all I wrote in all the blank spaces.
Good for you. Good for you.
Because the governor closed us down. And that's the 9 pages I just sent back for me. That's what I basically put on there. First explaining that I was not fired or I was not suspended. I marked the wrong thing on the form, that I was on standby waiting to be told by the governor to reopen.
So let me ask you a question about, because that's something that's obviously very important. You know, I've been going through a health situation and I was laid off at the end of January. So I'm on Medicaid, Obamacare. So fortunately, because I've been covered. So do you, and I know this is not a requirement, but do you cover your employees for health care or not?
No.
Okay.
No, Robert is covered under Davies' plan.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know what Seth has. Maybe he's covered under not Michael. Maybe he's covered under Jonathan's plan. I don't know.
So they're covered under their partner's plans?
I believe so.
Okay, good.
Michael Burr had.
How about you? You have your own. How old are you, by the way?
67. So I'm on Social Security, and I have Medicare.
Oh, you're on Medicare. You're on
Yes.
Medicare. Okay, good.
Yes, and so even I was looking at the unemployment benefits, and it said that I can collect my unemployment and Social Security at the same time. From what I understand.
No, you can. You can.
Yes.
You can do that. You can do that. Yeah.
You know, because I was concerned that they might get upset about the fact that I'm collecting Social Security before they pay me the unemployment benefits.
So now here's the next topic you'll love. So tell us about your experience with the Payroll Protection Program. I know this is like a can of worms, but I want to hear your story because this is like classic. It's like what a fiasco. Yeah, tell us about your Payroll Protection Program application with Chase and how that has gone and what has happened. And you know, we've known that, for example, Chase and Wells Fargo they prioritize big businesses over small businesses like yours, and they're getting sued. So tell us about your experience with that application process.
Okay, so the Thursday before Congress passed the legislation, I heard it was coming up. So I went over to Chase because I know there's two bankers over there. I know the manager and then one of the bankers. And so I made an appointment with the one banker, Michael, over there. I sat down with him and I explained to him, and Stephen, who's the manager, came and sat with us. And we were talking about the Payroll Protection Program, and I told him I wanted to get an application going right away. And so he is actually able at that time to print up the application for me to fill out. So he printed that out, and we had a discussion, and Stephen was saying, well, Floyd, you know, let's push this through, and basically it's free money because it'll all be turned into a grant eventually if you use it for what, you know, which if you take the utilities and the rent and the payroll and everything else that they allowed on there, you know, that's probably what all the money would go to anyway. Not really too sure on the employee side of it because they're all collecting unemployment right now.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
You know, so you know, if I paid them, then they would get less money on my payroll than what they would make on their unemployment right now, which I mean, in my mind, doesn't make any difference.
But Floyd, guess what? I've read this, and with the Payroll Protection Program for bars, especially for restaurants, you can pay them their salary plus estimated tips based on your, because you know you have a record, right? How much like Seth makes for tips, you know, per week. So you can estimate that, and guess what? You can pay them salary and tips.
Yes.
I don't know if you knew that.
I heard that, and so you know, getting back to filling out the paperwork at Chase, I filled it out, and of course that Friday, the Congress and the Senate passed the bill, and the president signed it. And so I went over to the bank, and right after I heard it was signed, and I made an appointment for that Saturday morning at 9:30 to sit down with the banker to work through this whole application process. So I sat down with Michael. I had an hour meeting with him.
Wow.
He told me all the forms that I needed,
Yeah.
you know, which is, I don't know if you could see, this is all the forms, you know, because I had to get them payroll, rent, utilities. Those are all the forms that we needed right there. I had them. So he told me at that time that Chase was still, they didn't have everything worked out yet so that they couldn't submit the application, but he had me in the system. He said, you're in the system.
Good.
I said, okay. So he made another appointment with me on Monday morning. And so I went there on Monday morning and we sat down and talked, and he said, well, Chase is still trying to work the system out. They didn't have the program ready yet. All right. And so I went back on Thursday of that week, and Michael said he didn't quite have everything ready yet at that time because they kept changing everything. They kept changing the requirements, or
they didn't know what they were doing.
They didn't have anything down yet.
No, they didn't know what they're doing.
So I went in the following Monday, and at that time they said they could no longer sit down and help us out, that we had to go to their Chase/Cares website and do everything there. But prior to that, they told me that I'd be either getting a call from Chase or I'd be getting an email from Chase for documents or whatever they needed. So I got an email from Chase. It said, we require more information. And when I would click on the email, I couldn't open it up with the browser that I was using. So a friend of mine who works on computers came over, and we tried to open up through Firefox or one of the other browsers,
or Chrome,
we couldn't get it open. Every time you would get in there, basically what it would do, it would want you to fill out the form again, basically the basic application, and then we'll get back with you. We'll get back to you, is what it would say. So it would just kept putting me into this loop. Every time I would go there, it would say, you had to fill out this form, and then we'll get back to you. We'll either email you or we'll call you. And that's
but Floyd, but at this time, from what you have told me, you have given them every piece of financial information from your bar, payroll, utilities, everything, right?
yes, he took copies of most of the stuff. All he had to do was upload it to whoever needed it. But they were told they could no longer talk to any business people coming in there about this, that if they had any questions, they had to go to chase.com to have their questions answered.
What? So basically, the personal bankers that you personally know and met with, all of a sudden they said, we can't help you.
That's basically what he told me. Michael, the banker that I was working with, he did try everything he could within his power there at the bank to try to help me.
Okay.
And so did
I was
Stephen.
wondering, because you know him, right? So you know
Yeah.
him. So you know he's going to try to do everything he can to help you.
But they were stuck. They were told that they had to stand down and that they couldn't talk to any more businesses about this, that they had to go to their chase.com/cares site. And then the last time I went to that site, it was not there anymore, or it said this site is no longer available because they had run out of money.
If you went to Michael now and said, Michael, what the hell? What do you think I should do? Should I go to another bank and apply, or
Well,
what?
Ernie, so shortly after that, just before they ran out of money, I got a call from somebody.
You did?
Somebody in New York.
Oh my God! You
Okay.
got a call from.
So now, I was kind of really sticking my neck out there, but for $250, he would get the whole PPP program, get it all for me, right? Of course, I told him, I said, well, from what I understand, they ran out of money. This was here just before they allotted more money for this program. And so I did not hear back from this fellow for, the weekend. And then he called me back after they allotted the money again, or the day before. And so I uploaded all the information that I had to him. Now,
wait, who is this person?
it was through some company in New York. Now,
Why
they've
do
been
you
around
wanna-
for 20 years. Well,
What's that?
they've been around for 20 years, and I talked to this fella. His name was Michael also, and he told me, he said, Floyd, he said, you could check Google or you could check, and we have been around for 20 years, and so we're a reputable company. And so, see, this is where I had to go, Ernie. This is where I ended up.
Why do you think he has the power to get you through this program versus?
Well, no, the company that he works with can do this. So I uploaded all the information. I had no problem. I had Dondi come over to my house, and we scanned all of these documents, so they're in my computer at home.
Yep.
And I emailed, and that's all Chase had to do, and I could have emailed them all those documents over, and that would have been that. But I emailed all these documents over to this company, and yes, Ernie, I'm same way. And he said to me, he says, now, Floyd, he said, I got all the documents that I need. He said, now, do you need a line of credit? Would you like to get a line of credit for up to $100,000? And I said, well, okay. And he says, well, I'm going to have my friend call you. Somebody called me from California.
Oh, God.
To open up a $100,000 line of credit with 0% interest for the year.
That sounds too good to be true.
Well, I've been seeing a lot of that. There's a lot of that out there, because basically when people are borrowing money now, they're not paying any interest on it anyway.
It's pretty low interest rates right now.
But I filled out all the documentation that I had to fill out for them, and now I'm not really too sure if I didn't sign some stuff I shouldn't have signed.
Oh, shit.
But they went out, and the way that they finance all this was they go out and they get you lines of credit through banks. And how they get it through the banks is they open up credit cards in your name.
Oh, what?
Yes. They can't, from what I understand, they can't borrow the money off the credit cards. I have to. Okay, so when I found this out, I just talked to Gal on Friday, and I'm going to talk to her again Monday. I was a little upset because I have enough, what would you say? I have enough credit that if I wanted to go to my credit cards and borrow the money, I would have.
Yeah, exactly.
But I didn't want to.
No.
So now suddenly, they're opening up all these credit cards, which is fine. Well, I'm going to go ahead and let them, I'm going to talk to her on Monday. And what I think I'm going to end up having to do, I think it might be a scam, is I might have to say, hey, look, I'm going to say to her, hey, look, how much money would it take for us to just discontinue this? Because I know it's going to end up costing me money, so I was scammed if it cost me money. Probably $1,000. You know what I'm saying?
You can write that off as a loss.
But you know, this is what I had to fall back on, Ernie, because I'm so desperate to get that PPP money.
I know.
And to have a line of credit just so that I could pay the bills around here.
Exactly.
So then I have
the bill. Well, what about so how has your landlord been?
Well, my landlord suspended my rent through May. So
Whoa.
April and May.
Wow.
But
wow.
I'm going to have to pay it.
Well,
but
of course.
He had talked about something about on the back end or negotiating something where I pay him a certain amount of money every month until their 2 months are taken care of.
Exactly.
And
Well, that's nice of him, though. That's nice of him.
Yes. Well, I don't think they had much of a choice. And they did the same thing to the Thai restaurant next door.
Okay.
Even though she's still able to sell things to go there. You know, she has a little bit of income coming in. So, you know, I'm happy with that for now. I think he'll work with me if we have to stay closed for another month.
Yeah.
But you know, I opened up a GoFundMe account.
Yes. I contributed.
Well, okay, so the first one I opened up, something happened. I think they had the wrong email, and so they suspended the account.
Okay.
All right. So then we opened up another one, which people were donating to, and then I just noticed they suspended that account. And I think what happened was I had sent them an email telling them that on the one account that they had suspended, the first one, that I think there was a problem with the email address on that. And I sent them a copy of my driver's license and everything to let them know it was me. And I said, I just want to close that account out. So I think what they thought I meant was to close both of them out.
Oh, shit.
So I think they're in the process of closing both of those accounts out. So I'll probably have to reopen if I want to do those accounts next week after they close them out. And then I opened up an account on Facebook also.
Okay.
You know, and now I'm referring everyone over to that one while I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And I've had a lot of people inquire about the GoFundMe account, and here I can't get any money right now through it. You know, that they're both suspended. You know, so nobody can donate money, even though
I can help you set that up because I just set up a GoFundMe for our film school project. So if you need help with that, I'd be more than happy to help you.
Well, okay, so let me get whatever mess I've got going on right now straightened out, and then I will talk to you, Ernie, about maybe you can walk me through and we can get that.
let me
I knew what I was doing. You know, it was all working out well.
No, the GoFundMe page is probably the best route for you to do that because they don't take of all the sites, they have the lowest, because we had people research that. They take the lowest percentage in terms of money. So
yeah, I noticed that.
That's your best route, GoFundMe. So here's the other question I want to ask you. So can you tell me about other small business programs you had applied for? City of Seattle, State of Washington, other U.S. Small Business Administration loans, and what that process has been like?
So the PPP loan that I applied for over at Chase, apparently they had if you went online to the Small Business Administration, they had a $10,000 upfront grant they had available. So I applied for that and I got a confirmation number and everything and never heard another thing back from them.
But what is that? It
was a $10,000 grant advance on your PPP loan.
Okay.
So they were just going to give you $10,000 straight up front and then take that off of the PPP loan.
But you never heard anything from that?
No, and I had a confirmation number on that one.
Jeez.
And then the day before we closed, I applied for the grant from the City of Seattle. The City of Seattle had $2.5 million in grant money available to small businesses, and we're going to loan it out $10,000 per business at a time. All you had to do was apply for it. So I applied for that right away. And apparently so did 9,000 other people. So the City of Seattle just threw everybody's name in a hat. They did a lottery.
Oh, God.
And then the first 250 people got money, and the other, 8,750 people got the finger, I guess. I mean, they basically didn't get anything, all right? So then
2.5 million is nothing. Nothing.
Ernie, 2 weeks before the mayor closed all the businesses down in the state, the mayor gave, or the governor gave the city of Seattle $200 million out of the rainy day fund. I don't know if you remember that or not.
No, I don't remember that.
$200 million out of the rainy day fund to help out with the homeless situation in Seattle. And the city of Seattle spends over $100 million a year, and the county $50 million a year, and I know it's more than that, on the homeless situation here in Seattle. But they only have $2.5 million to help out the small businesses in this city.
That's just crazy.
With $200 million, they could have given out all 9,000 people that applied
That's true.
$10,000,
Yeah.
and that would have only cost them $90 million, and they still would have had $110 million left over from the state to take care of the homeless thing.
You know what? You need to run for city council.
I don't know.
You need to run for city council.
But then, Ernie, then on the news, because, you know, when the night the governor said he was going to close down businesses, he said, but don't worry, we have grants and small business loans available out there.
Yeah.
So I went immediately the day after we closed to the Washington State site looking for the grant, and it kicked me over to the Small Business Administration. And this was before,
they're supposed to have, Washington State's supposed to have their own programs.
That's what he said. But it kicked me over to the Small Business Administration, and nowhere on there did it say there was any grant money available. But he kept talking about how there was grant money that was going to be available. And then I saw on the news, I think, 2 weeks ago, that the state had grant money again, and they actually had a website. So Dondi came over here with me, and we looked it up. And let me tell you, that was a pain in the ass. But we filled out the paperwork.
You did.
And we sent that back to the county, because you had to send it not to the state. It goes to the county in which you were in.
Okay.
So I sent that in 2 weeks ago for $10,000 grant, and haven't heard a word back from them on that either.
Oh God.
But the governor was pouting. They were talking about this on the news, how they had this available.
You know, that obviously you have, you know what, I'm going to share this with some organizations in the state. You are like, oh my God, it has been so difficult. You know, it's been such a difficult experience for you. It's been very painful. You've had to do a lot of paperwork, filled out, you know, stuff left and right. Like you told me, all the pages from unemployment, you know, all this. I mean, it is, you know, it is, I am shocked that how our federal, city, and state government and King County government have not been able to help a small business. Like, you know, you're the typical small business. You know, you're a neighborhood gay bar, neighborhood gay bar that has, up 3 or 4 employees. You know, you're not a big business, and for them to make is so difficult. And because, you know, small businesses employ the most people in this country, right? You know, your employees depend on you for income.
Well, Ernie, I have to tell you this too. I have to add this to this.
Okay.
In March is when all of my licenses are due also.
Oh, shit.
So in March, and my insurance. So my insurance was up. I had to put out a down payment on my insurance in the month of March, which was a substantial amount of money.
I can imagine. Insurance.
And then just last week, I had to make a payment on that insurance because they want their money.
Yeah. Yeah.
The state of Washington, I had to renew our liquor license, even though we're not selling any liquor. And they sent me a letter and said I had to renew this license by the end of March, or I had to surrender it to the state of Washington and reapply for the license again. And that takes about 6 months, and they have to go through all your financials and everything. Before you could
You are fucking kidding me.
Nope. They sent me a threatening letter telling me that if I didn't pay it by the 5th or something of April, that they were going to.
Okay, Jay Inslee's hearing from me on this one. So your liquor license, I'm not going to mention your name. Your liquor license was due on March 31st or something like that. And you had to pay it. They did not say, hey, due to the COVID,
no,
I know you're not doing this. We're going to delay this till June.
And I'll tell you, Ernie, and my liquor agent has been notifying me about things, so we're still under their control, even though we're not open. And, you know, like I told Stephen this, the liquor board, this is their favorite thing to do, is to have every bar in the state closed, and they still could regulate them. Do you know what I mean? That's their favorite thing to do, you know?
I can't. You know what?
But then
Jay
there's,
Inslee's going to hear from me. I'm sorry.
but then, Ernie, our health license was due by the end of March.
King County, right?
Yes, $1,000 for the health license.
Well, wait.
And
When was your health license due?
by the end of March. See, March is the big month for me. Everything is due in March.
King County.
It was 900. It was almost $1,000 for the health license, and if you did not pay it by the end of March, then they charge you penalties, which is a considerable amount of money.
How much is your liquor license?
The liquor license was $2,100.
Whoa!
So I tried putting that on a line of credit that I had, but apparently my bank turned it down, and so then they charged me a $145 late fee. But they're going to give me back the late fee. I got a hold of somebody down there. They're going to give me back the late fee, the $145.
Oh my God!
And the health license was $1,000. The insurance was $3,000 down on the insurance. All that was due in March. You see, like I said, when the business is open, it has a good cash flow. I can pay all of these as we go on. But now that we're not open, I had to pay all those anyway. I had some money on hand in the bank account for the bar, and I paid all those, even though I was holding on to that money for other things. And then I just got done sending utility bills in too, because the city of Seattle wanted their utility bills.
Of course they do.
So then
the only thing that I've seen that the county did, as a homeowner, they did delay the property taxes, are not due until April or June 1st. That's the only thing they've done.
So they did delay. I had pull tab taxes that were due to the city of Seattle for February and March. They delayed those.
Okay,
all
they
right?
did.
Yes. But I went ahead and paid the February one just the other day, and I'm going to pay the March one hopefully next week, because I'm going to have to pay it eventually anyway. Yeah. And then I had sales tax from February. They delayed until June 25th, I think it is now.
You know who I'm gonna email? Because Todd knows Danny West, what's his name? The guy at the Seattle Times.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna email him. This is outrageous. You guys are damn closed. You're closed.
Ernie, this is just me. I could imagine the other businesses, what they're going through. This is just me. And and then they delayed my sales tax, but I still have to pay it. We're talking about $5,000 there. But you know what? Ernie,
I'm gonna email Todd, because he knows Danny. He has a good relationship with him. This is outrageous. For you to have to pay a liquor license when your fucking bar is closed? You're kidding me.
And I'll tell you, Ernie.
Kidding me.
I'll tell you, and I know they will not prorate it. State of Washington will keep that money. They will not prorate it, even though for probably 2 months of the period of time that I had to renew the license, I won't even be using it.
Yeah.
And
they should, you know what? They should prorate it. You're fucking closed, but because of the governor. You're closed.
Now, Ernie, my quarterly on my pull tabs was due by the end of April. So I had to pay them for a license fee also before the end of April.
But wait, you're not open.
I know, but they have a new system that they figure out your license fee by the first quarter. So whatever I sold the first quarter, they charge me accordingly for the license fee.
So wait, hold on. So pull tabs, you also have to pay that even though you're closed.
Yeah.
And how much is that pull tabs quarterly? Can you tell me? Because I want to put that in here too.
Let me see. I had paid $700 up front, which I had to do back in January.
Okay.
And I had to pay another $600 on it for the quarter.
600. Okay, got it.
On top of the 700, so $1,300 for the quarter.
Wow. That's basically for Q2. So for April, May, and June.
Yes.
Right?
No. Oh. January, February, March is what I paid it on.
Okay.
Because they go by my gross sales. That's how they figure out the.
But what would the estimate? What would you have to pay for April, May, and June?
Well, depending on when we're open, it has to do with what my sales are. They figure it out according to my sales.
Okay.
So if I have no sales in April or May, then I don't have to pay anything on
Oh,
that.
okay. You don't really have to pay. Okay, I won't include that because they're not going to charge you for that, right?
Well, I don't know yet.
Well, of course.
We
But
won't
yeah,
know
okay.
until July when I have to fill out the paperwork on that. They may have
So here's my question for you here too. So when do you think that the bars will be able to be open? What's your prediction?
well, Ernie, a, a bar like mine, I look, the governor was on TV just Friday, I think it was,
Yeah.
talking about how he's going to let construction sites reopen.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
3 construction sites within walking distance of this bar never closed,
They
right?
were supposed to be closed.
But they didn't. They
I
were
know.
working the whole time, and I didn't see anybody from the city, nobody from the state, nobody from the county going out there and saying anything to these people. Nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I see where they're going to reopen construction sites. You've seen my bar,
Yeah.
all right? I
Not
could
that
reopen
big.
up.
It's not
I
that
could
big.
I could reopen up this bar, and I could space people out if that's what they want. I
6
mainly
feet.
want to.
6 feet.
Yeah.
Right. 6 feet.
You know what? And most people come in groups anyway because they hang out together.
Of
So
course.
I don't know. I figure June 1 right now. We will be the last bars, and I really hate to say this. We should be able to open up this bar before they open up a place like Neighbors or the Cup
Right.
because of the amount of people that go there. And I'm not just saying that just because I want to open my bar up first. It's because that we have more control over our space here than you would have at like the Cuff or
Yep.
at Neighbors
Yep.
or
Yep.
whatever other bars, because they're
Our
a lot bigger.
place. Yeah.
Yeah, they're a lot bigger, and they get a lot more people in there, and they have to get a lot more people in there to pay their bills.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to limit how many people I get into my place, and we really never get that busy where there's that many people in here anyway, except for maybe on a Friday night or karaoke night, which Marcus has right now no intention of starting karaoke until we're sure this is behind us. I would hope that we have a sign on the front door that says May 4th, and I know that isn't when he's going to let anybody open. I heard something to the effect that he's going to let gyms reopen. Now,
No.
if he lets gyms reopen, then he should let us reopen.
Yeah. Gyms are
You know what I mean?
horrible. Gyms, you're there running and you're huffing and puffing, so you're spewing out your,
Yeah.
your germs. It's like
Yeah.
it's the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
To open.
Well, Ernie, and any other business that wants to defy their command, they could. I can't because they have the liquor board on their side.
Of course
You know what I
they
mean?
do.
And all he has to do is tell liquor board, hey, go down there, pull their license. That's all he has to say, and they can.
Yeah.
You know what I
they
mean?
can.
And
Yeah.
so they always hold that over your head, even while I'm closed.
Yeah, they do.
I have to prove to them why I am here in this bar, even when I'm closed.
Yeah.
Or if I have somebody else in here with me helping cleaning or
Mhm.
doing some construction work, I have to explain to them why I have other people here in the bar.
Yeah. So
While I'm closed.
here's just gonna be my last question. So how long can you hang on for in terms of you can tell me, Ernie, you know what? I can last till like August, or I can last till July. How long, without any assistance, how long can you last?
Well, like I told you, they're liquidating my GoFundMe account so that I could reopen. And there's enough money on there where I could probably pay 2 months rent.
Okay.
All right. So I could probably get the landlord to extend our rent out 2 more months. But I figured through July, something has to give through July. And here I am applying for a line of credit that I really don't want to use, and I got to see where that's headed on Monday.
Okay.
I don't want to borrow any money off any
No,
of those.
you don't want to borrow money. No.
No, not off my credit cards. If I want to do that, I have plenty of credit cards to do that with.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I figured till the end of July. I mean, something has to give.
Yeah.
Now, if the governor or if the federal government want to give me $500,000, I'll just shutter the place. Do you know what I mean? Because it was probably worth earning. My business was worth a good $750,000 when I locked the door.
Wow.
Now it's worth zero. Now
Yeah.
it is worth nothing.
Yes,
You
yes,
know,
yes.
so I just got screwed out of my whole retirement the day that I locked my door.
Yeah.
The one thing that I have that most people don't is I have a business outside that door that's waiting to come back.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
not like a new business. It's
Nope.
like I've
Nope.
got a business. And believe me, I have been getting text messages up the yin yang from people that want to come back.
Of
You know,
course.
you know.
I mean, I'll be one of your first customers in the door when you guys open back up, you
Well,
know.
you know,
So
and I know damn good and well the governor is going to screw bars over big time.
yeah, I do believe that you're right. I believe that June is going to be his transition month.
Yeah.
And he, like he says, and like, you know, the New York governor, Andrew, he goes, I'm not going to, it's not a light switch. I'm not going to like turn on, you know, all of a sudden everyone's open. No, no, no. He's going to phase it in. Bars and restaurants are going to be last.
Of course they are.
I think they're last. So I think you will probably be able to be open by the end of June is my prediction. Okay, that's my prediction.
Well, I'm hoping, Ernie, because, you know, this is just ridiculous, you know, sitting around here and, you know, paying bills. And I mean, I show you the folder. I got a folder this thick of bills that I've already paid this month with no money coming in.
Exactly.
This thick.
I
You
know.
know, those are bills that are
Like,
reoccurring every month.
So with the if you get the Payroll Protection Program grant, that will help you immensely, right? Because that's supposed to cover all your bills,
Yes.
right?
So
That's
all I'll be doing is probably about 5,000 or 6,000 of it. I'll be reimbursing myself for what I had to pay while we were closed.
good.
You
Good.
know, if I get it, and I mean if I get it, because I'm not really too sure if I
You're
didn't
gonna
make
get it. I think you're gonna get it.
if I didn't make
think
a
you're gonna get
pact
it.
with the devil on this.
Well, you know what? You should go back to the person that knows you the best, your banker, and just say, you know what? Give me the real truth.
Yeah.
Do you think I have to go to like BECU or some other bank to fucking apply for this? Or do
Yeah.
you think I'm gonna get this through Chase? Because I was early. You were early. You did this before. You were
I
like
had
one of the first people in line.
I spent 2 days getting all of these um, forms together that they needed, all
Yes.
these documents. I spent 2 days.
You were like you were one of the first people that applied for this.
Yes, and you know Steve Kiggins from Q13. That's the second interview he's done about this, and I actually got a call from somebody down at King.
Did
And
you?
I was busy doing something. He wanted to do a face to face like we're doing
Wow.
right now,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
could have done that. I wasn't even thinking about it at the time. He did a phone interview.
Okay. But
You
you know
know,
what? What I'm going to do to help you, because you know what? Publicity helps, okay?
Yeah.
So Todd, you know Todd.
Yes.
He's the master at PR. He knows Danny West, whatever his name. I can't remember his last name. You know that he does column for the Seattle Times?
Yeah.
He does really good columns. Todd knows him very well. So I'm going to summarize these points and these horrible points, and I will send this to Todd and copy you, and Todd will forward it to Danny, and Danny will then contact you probably.
Okay, that sounds good.
Because you know, the more publicity you get, you'll help. Because people, you know, people don't like to be bashed. You
No.
know, they're going to say, well, Floyd, Chase is screwing him. You know,
Yeah.
and Chase doesn't want to hear that.
No, I know.
Chase doesn't want to hear the fact that on a column in the Seattle Times, Chase screws small business owner.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you will get your fucking loan, okay?
Well, you know, like
We'll
I said,
help you.
I can't apply for that loan right now because of this other one that's pending. You know,
I know.
because then I'd be trying to double dip, and I don't want to do that.
I know.
You know, so I got to wait to hear from these guys in New York. But I'd still like to follow up on this, find out what the fuck happened, Ernie.
I know.
Because I tell you, I mean, so many people got left out, and then to find out that Ruth's Chris Steakhouse got
I know.
$20 million, but now you know they're going to pay it back. And then that other company got 10 million. They're going to pay it back, but only after they were outed. Yeah, only after they were outed on it.
Of course.
And then apparently, you know, the president, because there was money in there for like Yale and some universities to help out the students.
Yeah.
He guilted
Harvard
them,
got it. Harvard got it.
but he guilted them into having to give all that money back.
You know,
So they're giving all
Harvard
that money
has the
back.
largest endowment of any college.
Yeah. Well, they're going to have to give all the money back.
I know.
They're going to give it back. They didn't have to give it back, but those universities are all giving their money
Oh
back.
no! Oh no! Oh no! They're going to give it back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I love this. This is great. You know what? We're going to edit this, so this isn't going to be part of the documentary. We're going to obviously clip but I am going to craft my email right now to send it to Todd, and I want him to send it to Danny. I'm almost 100% sure that Danny is going to contact you, because this is a typical, classic Seattle small business owner that's getting screwed by the system.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you are being screwed by the system. And
Through no fault of our own.
no fault of your own. You filled out so many forms. I can't believe this.
You know, and like I said, I may have had to sell my soul to the devil here. I'm not really too sure about this company that I'm working with that's opening these credit cards.
I know, that's a little.
I'm hoping that I did not sign
shady.
over a power of an attorney where they have control over some stuff. You know what I mean?
That's a little shady, okay, Floyd? Yeah. That's a little shady.
And I'm going to look way into that tomorrow.
No, I know. Okay, I love you. Okay, take care.
All right.
You know what? You're invited every day to our virtual happy hours. We would love to have you, okay? So if you have a feeling, join us one of these days, okay?
Okay, Ernie. Thank you.
Love you.
You too,
Take
baby.
care. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.